Hello, and good evening, and welcome to another edition of Masterpiece Sports Theater with Bob and Greg. Tonight's edition will feature full frontal nudity, drunken shenanigans, and hopefully other things to get more people watching since our views are about, 4. Gentlemen, please have at it.
Thank you, sir. Welcome to another episode of Glencoe Presents One-on-One with Glen and Brent. I'm Brent.
And I'm Glenn.
Glenn, I can't help but notice that there have been some changes to your appearance there.
Yes, there have been a few.
Do you care to elaborate on why that would be the case?
Well, Glencoe's changes keep coming down, and I'm still getting used to them. I've been told that my face and everything I've got going on here isn't testing well, so I'm to cover up.
Right. Well, I'm okay with that. Are you getting warm, though? Seems like you'd be warm. You know what might help? A hat. I think a hat might be just to cover up. I don't even like really thinking about the shape of your head. Really, most of those notes came from me. Well, here we are, Glenn. It's the beginning of the most wonderful time of the year. NCAA Conference Championship Week is upon us as we record this. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Selection Sunday will be coming up here shortly. And then the big dance. They call it a big dance? The Great Show.
It's a tremendous time of the year.
So, we're hoping this goes out before the Cards play their first game in the ACC Tournament by knocking off number 2 Virginia in our most recent game.
It was a very impressive game.
A very impressive game.
We played well, moved the ball.
By far our best victory of the year against an elite squad. I feel like we played well and they played well and we still won the game. It gave me a lot of confidence going forward. But by winning that game, we earned ourselves the double bye that we were hoping for all year. So we will actually skip the first 2 rounds. We'll play our first game on Thursday at 2 o'clock. And it looks like, for all intents and purposes, we'll probably be playing North Carolina. Do you think there's any chance that might not be the case?
Well, Boston College, I believe North Carolina beat them twice this year.
So it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So, considering, assuming we play UNC, we split those this year. We won at home in a great comeback game, and we lost to them on the road. How do you feel going into this game about our chances?
Well, I feel like we have some momentum right now. That's going for us.
Yeah.
I feel like we figured some things out that second game when we stormed back. We didn't play perfectly. We just turned up the defense, which is what I think we'll know to do. Mm-hmm. The concern, though, is that this tournament is in North Carolina's arena.
They're going to have a sizable home court advantage. And by which I mean probably 95% of the people there will be wearing that gross powder blue.
Now, one of their big guys, Kennedy Meeks, will likely be out for that game. Mm-hmm. Apparently he's gotten his diseases.
I hate to hear that. So, let's say, for the sake of argument, we managed to pull that game off. So, in all likelihood, we would then play Virginia again. Can we beat them twice in 1 year? Twice
in the span of a week?
It's a tall order.
It is a tall order. Well,
you sound sort of
if we could beat them, you beat them just a few days ago, why would you not beat them again?
That's true. But I think we're going to have to increase our focus because we could have let that one slip away from us as we have other games this year. We did dig in, which is great, and we did pull out that victory. But that's going to be a little dicey. But don't you think by virtue of the fact if we can get to that game, win or lose, we're a lock for at least a 4 seed at that point?
If we get to that game? When it comes to seeding, I never feel like there's a lock. We seem to get less than what we usually deserve.
We do tend to get shafted.
Now, a lot of the bracketologists out there, and there are many more than you would expect, all believe 4 seed at this point.
All right.
So I'm going to go ahead and say we'll be a 5 seed.
Now, Hall of Fame coach Rick Pitino tells us that if we win out in the tournament, we'll be a 2 seed. I understand that argument, but I just don't. The way the committee usually seeds us, I would feel the same way. I think a 3 is our ceiling.
If we win out, that's 3 seed. If you ask me.
So let's say we work real hard, we make it past UNC and then Virginia. Then we're going to end up facing Duke or Notre Dame.
Well, here is where I will disagree. I do not trust Duke. I do not trust Notre Dame. So I don't think either of those teams will be in the final game.
Oh, predicting a crumbling game there. Who do you see coming through?
Well, that's when you're going to say, who do I think will come through? Well, I don't know who all is on that side. But whoever it is, good luck, because you're going to not need it, because you're going to make it.
You figure what, NC State's probably over there somewhere, maybe?
NC State, that's a good one.
Let's say NC State. So, championship game, Louisville versus NC State.
Yeah.
And we win, and then we're a 3 seed. Very good. So, we've discussed the seeding for the tournament and for the ACC. What do you see as our chances? Of course, it's hard to tell, not knowing what the regions are going to be like. Not knowing because the NCAA tournament is all about matchups. But do you agree? I think you've touched on already. We have momentum right now. I feel like we have a much better chance of making a deeper run. If you'd asked me a month ago, I would have said this is at best a Sweet 16 year, probably. But now I feel good about making an Elite 8 run, and depending on the matchup, could even be better.
We're at a point where we're on the rise, and sometimes that helps. You're trying to get better, and you're pretty good already. Just the fact that you're ascending makes it feel better. You want to get there. You think you can get there. Sometimes when you're at a certain level the whole year, you really don't have another level. But I think we understand we have another level, and that might serve us well in the big tournament coming up.
There you go. Well, I think the sky's the limit. I think we've turned the corner, and other metaphors. So, good times ahead for the Cards. I'm already kind of melancholy considering that the regular season's over. This season really flew by quickly, but that's just another symptom of the fact that we're all rocketing into the grave. So,
well, did you see that thing I sent you earlier? It was about extending your life. If you die,
I got to think about extends. Is that the same?
Well, there's some of that in the mix.
Okay.
What you've got to do is right before you die, you got to freeze all that, and someone come by later. Now you're gonna have to make some friends with young people so that they come by later.
I hate young people.
I know, Brent. I know, but you be real nice to them, and then many years from now, when they've got it all figured out, the body and the skin, that they'll say, "Hey, get those guys out of that chamber." And prop them up, and we're going to hear what they have to say. And that's when we'll come back and enjoy the fruits of our sleeping.
Well, there you have it, folks. I think that's another successful episode. Boss?
Well, what about my question?
What's your question?
You didn't ask me any questions.
Does I have a question for you?
About a team, a sports team. You're supposed to have a book.
Oh, I didn't bother to bring that in here.
Well, can you please just pick a team?
Okay, I'm going to rifle through, and... Look, we landed on Valparaiso.
Ah, Valparaiso. You have your Bryce Drew, and you've got your big shot. The Valparaiso, they are the Terriers, and they are out at the WCC conference. That's the West Coast Conference. They often play games against Maryland Eastern Shore and Purdue. Those are their rivals. And I believe they're in the tournament this year. They won their conference tournament. And I almost went there for college. I had a scholarship opportunity, but I decided that I didn't want to play lacrosse anymore. I was just going to go to Bellarmine, which is here in Louisville. And you should attend Bellarmine because they have a good program for psychologists, which is what I did. And now I'm a psychologist. So that's all I know about Valparaiso.
There you go. Very good. Valpo. Go Terriers. All right, now, boss, I think we're about ready to wrap up.
Now we're in for our segment. How was that?
How was that?
Like?
Brent.
Oh, God.
I have been paid by Glencoe to be here tonight, a substantial sum, I might add. And I have to say that perhaps if you spent a little less time watching sweaty men play sports ball and more time at work, you might be able to find the money to move out of our basement.
This is our basement.
I tried to talk to him, Mr. Stewart.
You're not my mom.
Perhaps
I'm going to go ahead and take this off.
Even find a woman. Oh! Oh.
Uh-huh. Right.
Oh, dear. Oh, no. My shenanigans...
I'm married also to a woman.
My shenanigans have been called. Mm-hmm. However, I must now call you on your shenanigans, Brent. You didn't even bother to bring the necessary props onto the show.
What are the props?
The book, you damned fool.
All right.
He doesn't even remember. He doesn't remember the book, then he doesn't remember that he didn't remember the book. What kind of a co-host are you? And yes, you are the co-host. Glenn, you are the main host now.
Yay!
From now on, this show... Wait, it's already...
It's already Glen and Brent.
Well, I'll be goddamned. At least we don't have to pay for new advertising. So now, Brent Stewart, you have one more episode to get your shit together. Because believe me...
Or what?
Glenn's face wasn't testing well. Your entire being isn't testing well. And we will replace you with either a svelte, beautiful woman or a squirrel. I don't think it fucking matters. So, next week, get it together. Final warning.
Well, I'm really kind of curious to see the svelte woman that you talk into coming down here every week. So I might sort of play for that angle.
Well, did that motivate you?
Just...
Because I watched more games. He told me to watch more games, and I watched more games. For instance, I saw Manhattan beat Iona.
Yeah.
And they're in the tournament. And I also watched Virginia Tech beat the team called Wake Forest. And now they're going a little further.
All that really inspired me to do is to go to bed earlier so that I can get kicked off the show finally, and then a beautiful woman's going to start showing up at my house.
Glenn, you've done well.
Oh, thank you.
You have watched more games. Brent, never mind.
Right. All right.
Well, that's all we have this week.
Yeah, that's a long show. I think that's all we've got. So, on behalf of myself and my friend Glenn, I consider you a
Well,
friend.
before you go, look at these stats.
All right. Danny doesn't have time to put anything in here this week. He's got to get this up by Thursday.
And
Look at
don't-
all the space where the stuff would go, but it's not. Please check us out at Glen and Brent on Twitter. Please email us, glenandbrent@gmail. Please check out our YouTube channel, 2 Men 1 Couch. And check out our other shows, such as Bits and Brews, now apparently available on Twitch or something.
And send us a text. Brent's phone number is 976-GABB.
All right.
And
All right, I think that's it. Okay, goodbye. Thank you all. Good night.
good night.